Alright, welcome back to the most exciting show on the internet right now. The funny thing is everybody's asking for updates, as if we have something here that nobody else has. And, that is because we have stuff here that nobody else has, quite frankly. And we do very well with the information we have. All right. So I've been messing with the software and trying to make it more optimal, and I took the bandwidth down, pushing to YouTube. It was too optimal. It wasn't strong enough, so it cut me off. But right now we've got a good connection. It takes a lot to do this. This is not easy stuff to do. It becomes pretty exciting and challenging. Yeah, we do have new news. First of all, the meeting with Partha went very well. It was a very big, long session, so this is my first time compiling a Zoom video. So I'm at 47% compilation of the video. Probably another 30 minutes, and it'll be compiled so I can upload it to YouTube. It's a big video. It's a long video, and it just takes a long time to compile these things. The conversation with Partha that I'm talking about here, that you people saw, was just a download of information. Here's the interesting thing about Partha. He's a coder. He writes code. He writes computer code. And I'm a network engineer. And we look at each other's work as kind of dark arts, but there's synchronicity in what we do. And I know when I'm talking to a programmer, and a programmer knows when he's talking to a network engineer. And from the first moment Partha and I started talking, there was an incredible synchronicity. And when you find somebody that's filled with wisdom of things that you see and notice, that you can, if you do carpentry and you see a master carpenter at work and you just want to learn from them, somebody that does makeup videos, and you're like, wow, they can do something. So you watch how they do it, and you do it wrong the first few times. You recognize brilliance when you see it, and you recognize it on the level that you need to see. And what Partha brings to the table and brings to the Breadcrumbs project. Hi, Sandra. We need to talk. Hi, everybody. Sorry, it's just been a big, huge day. Partha can read the skies, the nighttime sky. Astronomy and astrology. Astronomy is astrology week. So astronomy talks about what they can see, and they can land on things, but none of it makes sense to them because they're so closed in how they're pursuing their science. So they don't understand it's an electrical universe. They don't understand the pops that happened yesterday. The pops that happened yesterday were clearly explained and accepted here on Breadcrumbs Project. And that was my partner in this project, and now producer of cat memes. His name's Epic Forever, and his great talent in the internet is cat memes, and he brings a lot to the project, bringing that to you, the viewer. So we have a Facebook page. It's and Epic. Andrew's been doing a great job advertising it. And so just bring information. Just bring information, as much information as you can. We need data. We need data to compile. But what Partha brought was the ability to read the skies, the stars, the movement, what they mean and what they do, because they're not just they are not just meaningless stars. If you look up there and you don't know what you're looking at, it's meaningless to you. If you know how to read the nighttime sky, then you know exactly what. And let's see, you're not receiving enough video. I wonder what's going on with my video. becoming a very popular channel here on the YouTube machine, and I am learning a lot. So we are all going through the learning curve. You guys have to suffer a little more than I do, but believe me, I get to stressing over here when things aren't going good technically. So what happened just now, as I was trying to compile, and it's not me, I'm not doing anything, my trusty laptop here, who's been a dear friend and a trusted, loyal ally in this mission, was compiling the Zoom meeting that I had with Partha, and that was one of the most incredible phone calls, video calls, experiences of my life. Partha can read the nighttime sky. The Indian tradition is filled with stories that are actually ways of putting things forward to let future generations know what is going to happen. It's not really prophecy. It's the people that have designed and done all this said, look, in roughly 1,300 years, or this many years, 12,000 years, we are coming back. This is what happened to make the thing ugly, and this is how it's coming back together. And you're going to see representations in the sky, and this is the story that's being told. So as we're talking, Swan and Atlas have very significant representations in both the Indian tradition and in the yeah, I'm just checking the stream. In the Indian tradition, in the Egyptian tradition, in the Sumerian tradition, in the Western tradition, these are important. And when we say Western, we're kind of going more towards Greek mythology, in Judaism too. So these are important things that the ancients knew how to read the sky, because they were foretelling, because they knew things were going to happen. It's like, hey, when Gilligan's Island comes on, put the microwave on. Okay? When Gilligan's Island comes on, put the microwave on. That way when I get home, I'll be ready to cook dinner. I just need this. I need what's in the microwave right now to defrost. I've already programmed it. Okay? Simple. When Gilligan's Island, the skipper to the millionaire, think microwave. So we can have dinner like on time for once. So you just leave messages for future generations in the most basic way that can be understood. And all of these eschatologies that we're experiencing are synchronous. And please understand that Partha is in India. We have no connection otherwise than this project, but yet I feel he's a brother from another mother. And so when he started his lecture, before he came on to lecture us, which he does so well and so concretely, man, I was just taking it in, and I described it to him in computer terms. My buffer is full. I've taken everything you've given me in, but a lot of it needs processing. But one of the key things is that he said one of the, Rahu's head needs to be rejoined to his body, and that could be very well. This is what makes me think that there could be an impact event, and it doesn't change anything. It just makes it more grandiose and spectacular. If those two comets do hit each other, man, you know something is up, right? So it's one thing if they're intersecting, and that's got everybody just a buzz except for NASA and JPL. The people that we pay to be a buzz about this thing, they're not a buzz about it. Well, there's got to be a reason, because it's how they make their money. So for all that it's worth, seeing what's happening through um, through astrotheology and the synchronicity of different of the Hopi tradition of all of them. I mean, these two guys might hit each other, and there's a 20% chance of that. But I want to talk to you guys about it first. I mean, we already have super weird things, but everybody's really doubty. Everybody's like super doubt. I mean, you can tell your parents, you can tell your children, look, the shadow of the sun is off. The sun is off. We've admitted to UFOs. No one wants to hear it, right? Um, Jen Rose, what's happening with the trajectories, as both Partha and I, because he's been watching independently too, as we've been watching the trajectories by different softwares, we keep seeing that they keep closing in. So they used to be like passing each other like, whoa, like not even noticing on the first renditions a month ago. And now their trajectory is getting closer and closer and closer and closer to now there's a visible small gap between them. And I can't measure these things by myself. But I'm just saying that there's something in the back of my head. There just is a gnawing feeling that these two things may hit each other, and it's just for showmanship, okay? Because one thing that we can agree on, that if we read how the gods were back in the day, they were show people. They were showmen. It was grandiose. And if you look at all the ancient renditions of the gods in India, they were colorful, and Rahu was blue, and so that was meaningful. And it's not made up. That stuff is not made up. We can go into the archaeology and see things that don't make sense. But if you look at them through the sense of the Vedas and the written word, they make great sense. But to the modern eye, to the 20th century archaeologist who thinks all that stuff is just mythology, it doesn't mean anything. And quite frankly, it's very much the opposite. It means everything. And we had a big laugh because we kind of reviewed some of the material beforehand. But we were talking about the makeup of the comets. He was telling me the different colors and what they meant. And, I mentioned, well, modern space people, the astronomers, don't understand the colors and didn't really know there's different color comets for the most part. And Partha laughed. He said, well, they should study this first before they study what they're going to study. They should know what they're studying and what it means, right? So it's much like, lots to try to understand there is. So again, the value that Partha brings is like when you go to Egypt and you look at the hieroglyphics, and they're just so neat and beautiful, and they don't mean anything to you. But you have somebody come up and they start reading them to you, and you're like, whoa, that's what it says? So that's what happened with Partha. The video is uploaded. He goes through things very fast, okay? The name of the video is A Visit with Partha, and it is uploaded. Absolute. If they have the same polarity, why wouldn't you hypothesize that they would close in on each other? I already saw that happening. I already thought the potentiality they could hit. Because absolutely the only thing that gives me trouble with that is because they're not metallic in nature. So do the fields that they're creating have an attraction potential? You really think so? They're not. Well, I mean, they could have a snapback effect. Yeah. Well, absolute. It doesn't change anything. It makes what we're saying a little bit more real if in fact that is what has happened. That will definitely generate you an EMP right there. Cuz okay, so astrology expert, yes. If there's anybody that's an astrology expert, it's Partha. Good, good. I wish we could give him a better word than expert, and you know that you know what I'm saying, Andrew. Okay, what absolute is saying, in which I wish we just a third electrical engineer, because these are charged rocks. So they're charged rocks, and what I'm having a moment trying to wrap my head around, and which Absolute, who's an electrician by trade, so he plays with electricity. I mean, it's his gig, right? So he knows more about this stuff. I am 12 volt and below, and Absolute plays with all the voltages and all the amps, and I don't even mess with amps. If it's got amps, I don't even want to deal with it. But what he's saying is these two pieces of rock are have the same polarity. Okay, so they're like two magnets. They could possibly be two magnets that have the same charge, and north north and south south. So the opposites repel, but the alike attract. It's not dangerous, Miss Scott. It's just electricity. Electricity doesn't necessarily need to be dangerous. So this will definitely, if it's doing what we think it's doing, this will definitely generate a very bright light. It will generate a very loud noise, and it will generate a mother of an EMP that won't affect humans. Okay, so you'll still have a stronger magnetic effect being in an MRI. You get a stronger EMP for longer in an MRI than you are from this. Even if it's the mother of all EMPs, they just don't affect humans. It's a big radio wave. Is it big enough like a microwave to do damage? I don't think so, but maybe that's why we should stay inside. The Dance of the Dragons. Multi-leg talk point session? I don't know. Draco's a dragon. Draco is the dragon, and that's what's something that he was talking about today. All right, just making sure the play is good. Does it affect 5G? Momentarily. Will it take out some towers? Probably. If they don't have a strong enough EMP protection, absolutely. Partha! I was just talking about you. The video's been uploaded. Partha, when you told me that the head wants to reunite with the body to make Rahu whole again, that makes me think that Atlas and Swan are actually going to impact each other. And that's what I was telling you earlier, and it made you smile. And you're probably thinking to yourself, well, here, Absolute, who is an electrician and plays with electricity, the stuff that you and I refuse to play with, had already thought that both of these comets that had such a high charge polarity will and have now linked their fields that they are going to attract each other faster and speed up and actually have an impact. Look, we know comets are pretty much are, well, these are green. We don't know what these guys are. Yes, that's what we see here in the petroglyphs. This is a Hopi tradition. This is a Hopi tradition. This is Hopi. And dancer. I mean biker dance. This is for you. This is the Hopi legend. Oh, Leanne, we're trying to get the dates right as well. No, this is two comets. This is these are the comets Atlas and Swan, and generating a Birkeland current between them. So this is the Hopi tradition. This is what the Hopi say. This was done in Colorado, close to New Mexico border, in the heart of Hopi country. So yeah, there's a lot going on. So much going on. And the thing is, not many people are talking about it. So, all right. Why did you want to do that? Oh, because you're here. All right. So that's what I'm thinking. Oh, Ray, yeah, that's a beautiful part. When I was in the Army, we went there for a while. Leanne, yes, we think the 28th. We think the 28th is when the event will happen. But right now, my thinking is that this could actually be an impact event. We're going to survive, absolute. We're going to survive. If these things do hit, it doesn't. There's not going to be a debris field. It's not going to be an explosion. It's still going to be just an electrical event. You know, there's not going to be any arcing. There's not. It's not that this electricity doesn't have a ground to go to. If they do hit each other, it's just going to create a big flash in the sky. Again, nothing devastating, just showmanship. I don't think JFK had any inside skinny. I don't think JFK had much game. Plus, he was Roman Catholic, hard. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just his two comments are going like Absolute said, and like the tradition says is they attract each other, and they're going to, the head is going to rejoin the body, Partha. So it's it's a new interpretation because I've been thinking about it, and Absolute's been thinking about it, and Parth has been reading about it all of his life. So we don't have anything to go by, and nobody's providing us with information. And the meager information we do get, we have to make some analysis. Those of us who have analytical minds, and when we don't see enough coming through, we have to go digging. And one of the great things that happened when Partha was giving us his lecture, many of the websites he used and the places he went to, except for his astrology stuff that just blew my mind. The same places that I go to, and he feels they're credible sites as well. So that made me feel good. No, Jen, sun is not going into a downtime. No, it's like CMEs. You know, sun is kicking ass and calling names just like it always does. Is it being affected by Planet Nine? Yeah. Is our planet and our new alignment and the new and the drastic movement of of um, of magnetic north 6 degrees? There's just so many things happening. But no, the sun just kicks ass all the time. The sun isn't dependent on the ball itself. The sun is dependent on the energy that's coming from outside that hits the corona and then bounces off. So the surface of the sun is again 6,000 degrees Kelvin. Okay, the surface, the orangey bit that they always show us, is 6,000 degrees Kelvin. Then you go off the surface a little bit, and then you have that big white thing that we see when the eclipse happens. You have perfect eclipse, and the moon perfectly blocks the sun. That white thing is that white bit is the corona, and the corona is 1,000,000 degrees Kelvin. So Kelvin is how we get to absolute zero, and it's a scientific measurement. It's the most accurate measurement of for scientific reasons, and it blows out Fahrenheit and Celsius. Well, 1,000,000 degrees Kelvin is the corona. The surface is 6,000. 1,000,000, 6,000. So what we see never hits the surface of the sun, and the surface of the sun really doesn't even radiate out to us. There's a bunch of energy that's always moving in towards the sun because of its strong gravitational pull. And then when it hits that active area, the corona, then it gets zzzt, and it bounces out as a charged particle. And that's what we see and feel are charged particles. That's what sunlight is charged particles. I haven't been able to see against the grain. We've been live nonstop here. Oh yeah, lots of sightings of UFOs, the inexplicable booms, which still to me that they say that it was Mirage Jet, a French Mirage Jet making those booms. Man, a Mirage Jet wishes it could make one boom, much less five seconds worth of booms. And again, Partha experienced those booms. He knows they weren't a sonic boom. They weren't anything but something very powerful that came from space. The northern hemisphere. If these comets do impact, I mean, it could be such an event that it could take a whole day. That so the you know, we're speaking theoretically right now, and I'm answering Bo Styles. Bo, where are you from? You sound country. Did Sandra give up on us? Anyways, Bo, this could be something where it's so quote unquote epic and it's being done in the vacuum of space that as the world turns, this could cause the bright light to be, maybe a day long. So the flash could affect the whole planet as it turns. And the sound could be a long sound too. It might not just be a crack or a boom. It could be a very prolonged, loud noise. Hey, Sandra. Um, do the 23rd or the 27th, 28th ring any bells in the queue? No, yeah, uh, Epic, Andrew, my co-host, set up the chat room so there is a 2 meter um, uh, distance between all of you in the chat room. So in the ether world, in the Ethernet, in the programming world, you are socially distancing. So don't worry about that. If you don't mind, Sandra, I've got that. And so I don't know if you've seen my session on the queue, but this is um, this is my part of the queue. This is this is our part of the queue. This is what we do. Um, this is how I came into it. Oh no, you don't have to go look at it. Don't worry about that. I'm just showing you my portion of the queue. It's not worth it. This is how I got shocked that I'm working with the queue and I had no idea. So I started with this understanding that there was going to be a large event and to be mentally and spiritually prepared. That was my strongest thing, and that I was telling people to to at least pray or meditate, and I am a huge proponent of the electric sun. And then I saw someone pointed me to the map of the queue and said, that I should become familiar with this. Did I know about this? And I started looking at it, and I zoned in on this portion of the map, and this is me. This is what I do. And all of the Yuga fire and the cropsies and all of that, that is what Partha is bringing. That's what Partha is bringing to this. So Partha is part of the queue, and he didn't know it. How about that? Partha, you're part of the queue. This all has to do with synchronicity, Jen Rose. This is thorough and unyielding synchronicity. Yes. And you have to understand that Partha and I come from completely unique, different, and polar opposite backgrounds, but we understand each other perfectly. And he's represented in the queue. How about that? And he keeps surprising himself with these things. Oh, Sandra, you have to. Oh, Sandra, I'm so sorry. Oh, you were in the other cesspool. There are 3 cesspools. One is New York City. Washington, D.C. is by far the second cesspool, and then the third would be Hollywood. So yes, we don't mean to be, but we are in connection with what the queue has been talking about. And so yeah, solar event. I think this ties in with the solar event, Sandra, and I think it ties in strongly. There's a reason, Sandra, that NASA is not talking about these comet events. There's a reason that JPL is super silent on this, because this is how they make their bread and butter. You know that. You know that the space agencies, whenever they have a chance to get TV time, they have airtime, they're running you over to get there, because that's how they make their money. When they're on national news, that's when the House starts to loosen the purse. So they should be wall to wall with this. They should be wall to wall. And I understand this comment is quite unique and peculiar, and as not. That's right. That's right, Tom. I understand comments for quite a long time, but this has been one of the oddest ones. And this is how. Oh, I'm sorry. And this is what's not happening. Is the usual behavior of government. And then the second unusual thing, Sandra, is that. And I tell the story, and I like to do it like this, okay? I'm military. I worked in D.C. For a year. I worked in government for 12 years as a staffer on the political side, and so I understand bureaucracies. And if you want an award-winning bureaucracy, that would be the Pentagon of the United States. You can't do anything without paperwork. So nobody does anything on their own initiative in the Pentagon. And the favorite word, the word that's most commonly exercised, not is yes, sir, but no, sir. And NCOs and people that are not officers love to tell officers no. And the only way they can do that is with paperwork. So the Pentagon is bureaucracy. Pentagon policies don't change, man, because the culture doesn't change, right? You say you're changing a policy, but military culture is military culture. You can change all the policies you want to in the world, but you're not going to change the nature of the military. So for the Pentagon to acknowledge UFOs is the most incredible thing that's ever happened in my unique life. I still can't believe it to this day that somebody had the chutzpah to go tell the Joint Chiefs of Staff that we've got UFOs. Because all those crotchety MFers laugh at those young kids that talk UFOs. Laugh. I know better than that. NCOs laugh louder. But somebody came with something to make the Joint Chiefs of Staff say, okay. But the Joint Chiefs of Staff can't do this. They have to get the White House. Why? Because the president, no matter how much you don't like him, is still the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. It's been like that since George Washington. And it's like that today. So if it's a big thing, commander-in-chief's got to okay it. So somebody got stuck with the job to haul themselves from Virginia and go over to the cesspool of Washington, D.C. and convince the Chief of Staff of the President of the United States that there were in fact UFOs. And I know when they first said it, there was a lot of giggling and laughing. But they probably made the Chief of Staff go into one of the deep bunkers, and they were that serious about this, so they probably had the Chief of Staff's attention, and they probably presented some information. The Chief of Staff said, "I will bring it to the President's attention immediately." How should we proceed? That's the big thing. How do we proceed? What is your guidance, Pentagon? The President of the United States, Donald Trump, does not do anything on his own. He's always ran big companies, so he knows how to move as a company. Donald Trump moves erratically and fast, but is for a reason, because he has to move corporations with him. So you first signal softly, then you turn up the heat, and then you execute. If anybody's been a project manager, that's how you do it successfully. You don't just hit everybody with it. Okay, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to. No, I've got stuff to do. I've got things to get. So you slowly turn up the heat. So that's why I want to see if there's something about these dates. Just the dates alone, because I know May the 13th was a big day. And I know it didn't have to do with our comets, but I just want to know if there's something more in the queue, because the government is hiding something with these comets. That's the point of my whole story. Something has made the president acknowledge UFOs, and Donald Trump does not want to be the UFO president. No, no, no. He's never wanted that, didn't want that, will do anything to avoid it. But they presented him and his chief of staff something so undeniable and so powerful that they had to start the slow leak process of acknowledging UFOs. It's so big what's coming that they have to do the leak slowly and start it early in December with this. Thanks, Sandra. And I'm glad the Q is monitoring me. Very happy the Q is monitoring me. All right. Yeah, I mean, whenever you're running something, you can't do anything by surprise, especially if you have customers. Yeah, the leaks that have been coming out of DC, I mean, it's leaks finally that help and not hurt. So yeah, everything with the government is just they're just not behaving right. They're so if you have an animal that's not behaving right, it's probably sick. And so I know the animal of government very, very, very well, and it's behaving as it shouldn't be, as it normally wouldn't be. And then we have all these space events. And then we have the fact that the president has protected the infrastructure against an EMP. And then we have the not only the government infrastructure, but the power companies have been forced by presidential order to fortify, to ensure that the power grid is fortified against an EMP. And then the UFOs, and then the banks that nobody's talking about. Beijing went dark at 3:45 yesterday. Made no news. Made no news. All right. So wow. How about that? Yeah, you do make a good point. Oh, Sandra, you just took the fun out of it. Can you please monitor me? Can we call it monitoring? You know, gives it a little, I don't know, savoir-faire, you know, gives it a little panache. So yeah, I want to be monitored. I want to be, look, I'm totally Churchillian in my belief. If I've not made somebody angry, I have not stood on principle. If I'm not being monitored, then I'm not doing anything worthwhile. Thank you. Thank you. So yes, we are being monitored by the Q. But yeah, you know, thank you. Share what I'm talking about, bounce it off of people, and if you know if you bounce stuff off a wall and something comes back, then that is awesome. So this is what I'm saying, and this is what Absolute is saying, and I'm not going to put it on anybody else because it's pretty heavy what we're saying. We're saying that these two like-charged now projectiles going over our northern hemisphere are going to start attracting each other and speeding up and are going to collide and cause a gigantic event. And somebody else made a very good principle because it's still an electronic event. They're not going to explode. They're going to come back together and have another event, and that might be the 28th. How about that? Thank you, Sandra, so much. Absolute. Have you put that in your pipe yet? Put that in your pipe. So just because you have an electrical event where things collide, they don't explode out. There's still connectivity. There's still magnetism. There's still something there to them. So they're going to go out, and then they're going to come back and then hit again. And I don't know how Right on, brother. Right on. So, all right, we've just hit the next level, guys. We've just hit the next level. What software am I using to track the comments? Very good question. Theskylive.com. Theskylive.com, and it has 3D orbits and the trajectories and the perihelion of these comets and of all comets that we're experiencing right now. And right now we have 5 or 6. I don't know how many comets we got going on because I'm live on the air all the time. If I'm not doing that, I'm eating, sleeping, or taking at least a walk. So what I've been seeing in the software, James, is that the trajectories, and Parthas saw the same exact thing, that the trajectories of these comets keep getting closer and closer and closer. So today is the 22nd. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We may literally see what happens tomorrow. Australia went dark because there's a planet. Planet 9 is right now in the in orbit in our solar system. NASA 2 years ago admitted to the existence of Planet 9. They didn't know where it was, but they admitted to the existence of it. All right, checking my errors. Skipping frames. But I'm not dropping frames. All right, very good. Yes, Robert. China went dark recently, and I can bring that up here. All right, so I'm going on my internet's machine. Let me go to, first of all, let me see if Partha's video posted and how it looks. Well, it's my #1 video. All right, let's go ahead and bring the... All right, guys, let's get some... This is my visit. Let's go ahead and fix that right now. Before Epic sees it. So this is how we do our videos, and so my video with Partha is up, and I have mislabeled it. So we're going to go in and edit that. We have 1,800 subscribers, which is shocking and wonderful. A visit with Partha, and yeah, I was moving very fast. I was in between streams trying to get this out. Partha. All right, save. So that is up, and let's see where I can find that. So if you want to go see the visit with Partha, it is now up, and did we talk for 1 hour and 27 minutes? Says here we talked for 1 hour and 37 minutes. It felt like 20 minutes. Good Lord. All right. So hold on while I pull that up. China going dark. And somebody said in the comments section, no, the comments will not impact Earth directly. There will be no damage to the planet Earth at all. Let's see. China going dark was. Oh, that was. Let's see. Oh, that was something in a link somebody sent me. So I have to go to another history. Sorry, guys. All right, so I'm trying to see where it is. Satellite spacecraft. Meeting with Zoom. I've been very busy. All right. Guys, I can't find the thing about China going dark. If anybody, because somebody sent it to me, so if you could resend that to me or repost it to me, let me see if I can do a search. Afternoon. Yes, here it is. All right, let me bring it up. I have to do all the work here, guys, so I apologize. There. All right, so this is from today, this morning, very early this morning. A BBC camera journalist, Edward Lance, based in China, said that 10 minutes before the darkness, Beijing was still bright with lights, and it was shrouded with darkness. So here is the video. I'm going to play it. And it's a Twitter account. I'll be doggone. It's been taken down. Wow, it's been taken down. How crazy is that? So this is what a picture, this is what it looked like. This was 3 o'clock, almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon in Beijing, and it just said it suddenly went dark. So yeah, they're scrubbing this stuff fast, guys. They are scrubbing this stuff fast. And then, of course, there is what happened in India. Can't forget this. And that was day before yesterday. So yeah, so all of this points to really weird stuff. Yeah, taken down. I played it this morning. I played it on this morning's Epic saw it. All right. Thank you for the donation, Epic. that's what it takes to get my message. That's what it takes to get my attention nowadays. I'm sorry. We got that. We got that. We got that. Give me a moment, guys, and I'll pull this up. Entertain everybody. You got jokes there, Epic? Tell us some jokes. If you do go to the Facebook page, it is hilarious. It is absolutely hilarious what Epic has done. The cat memes. Oh, he's so wrong. He is so, so wrong. So mean to your poor host. You're tired and old and poor host. And I've got to fix this light here. Oh, what account you send it to? I don't have anything. Andrew, did you send it to the oh, Messenger? Messenger. Oh, we have that now? Fancy. Hey guys, we got Messenger. I'm glad I wore a collared shirt for the occasion. All right, got it, got it. All right. This looks familiar. This might not be a comet breaking up, Epic, and I had it on an old video. Let me bring it up, what we're looking at, and up. All right, so this is what we're looking at. And this is exactly how a comet does not behave coming into the Earth. That is actually a breakup of a European satellite. So I recognize that video very much. I've used that. I used another version of that video, and that is actually a breakup of a satellite. I don't think so. It may be. It may be. It looks extremely close to Partha. I'm not taking that away from you at all, my friend. But I just remember seeing it as a European space video. What in the world is that? No. And maybe if I do some research in a little bit, I can bring it back around. And it's not taking anything away from what Partha's picture put up at all. Yeah, it is definitely, it's the calm before the storm. I agree. Yeah. Oh, hey, look at this, Sandra. Look at this. Suddenly, for no apparent reason, satellites and spacecraft malfunction. Now, what they're saying here does not correlate with what the story is, all right? This is a leak. This is a classic special ops project leak. Starts in England, and then it propagates over to the U.S. and slowly bubbles up. And they don't have to have an exact person to cite. They don't have to have an exact person to interview for the details because it's way over in England. So they're not going to verify. They're just going to republish the story. expecting that Sky News has done all the legwork, and that's what's happened in news journalism today. So they don't have to get the details of this, and verify. They just republish it. And I don't buy into the weakening of the magnetic field portion of the story. What I do buy into, Sandra, is that satellites and spacecraft are malfunctioning. That is definitely happening. The magnetic field, no, I don't buy that one bit, because they said it's been happening over the last 5 years. I follow this stuff. I follow this stuff closely. It's like they say, well, comets are unpredictable. Comets have never, ever, 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 ever been unpredictable. Ever. And so the Earth's magnetic field has not been weakening. Maybe it's mysteriously weakening right now because of Nibiru being in close approach. That may be a fact, but there's definitely a fact that satellites and spacecraft, not just check that wording out. Check that wording out, guys, and Sandra especially. It's not just satellites and spacecraft. So the wording of this is suspicious, and I don't think the magnetic field has anything to do with how these satellites and spacecraft function. They say they're going over a weird area in the article. If you get down into the depths of it, that there's a tear in the somewhere over South Africa that's generating weird anomalies. But I don't believe that's what's happening. I believe either the comets or Nibiru are affecting the satellites and spacecraft. Suspicious. Super, super, super suspicious. All right. Checking the comments. Sure. Sure. Why? If you can play word association games, why wouldn't you? If you can play, why not? All right, guys, taking a break. I'm going to adjust as I always have to do at this time, adjust my shading of this. Yes, it could be a portal site over South Africa. High energy beam portal site. Why not? Makes sense to me. So the news that we have right now is we possibly think that there's a very interesting opportunity that these two comets may in fact come close and collide each other, and then I'm postulating they may pull apart and come back and give a bigger flash. Let's see. No, Doreen. A collision wouldn't be bad. No, no, no. Because they're loose rock, and even if they're metal, even if they're made of metal, it just will be a big energy event. There won't be debris or anything like that occurring. It'll just be a high energy event. It's still the same thing. It just may happen differently than I'm postulating. And it's just because of my conversation that I had with the amazing Partha. So no, nothing's really changed. It's just the way it happens may be more exciting. possibly tomorrow, and we're all putting our money on the 28th. Possibly tomorrow, but a lot of us are saying the 28th for a variety of different reasons. Partha has his reason for the 28th due to his reading of the astrology. I'm doing mine the 28th because I think that the event happens on a pull apart, and then ZZ says 28th just because he's always right. Valley of the Blue Moon in South Africa. All right. Breadcrumbers, check out the Valley of the Blue Moon in South Africa, and maybe that's what's causing this hole that they've been studying for the last 5 years in the what do you call it? Yeah, I need to take a break. Magnetic field, the Earth's magnetic field. So it's just a hole. It's not the whole field itself. So what they talk about is, that just this article is confusing on purpose, Sandra. This is a wonderful, spectacular effort at brilliant misinformation, because they're throwing so much information at you at once. You have to have a high level understanding, but they use such big buzzwords that it gets you all excited. Well, of course, Space Weather is talking about our friend Michael Yeager. They have to. They have to give this person substance. He's been dropping too many gems. You're going to drop 16 degrees in Paris at 3 p.m. and bad weather? I wonder if you're going to have sudden darkness. I wonder if you're going to have sudden darkness, Kathy. Hi, Kathy. Welcome to the Breadcrumbs Project. Kathy Thevenard. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Very interesting. Is CERN relevant? Jen, I don't know if CERN ever has been relevant, quite frankly. Has CERN been a big waste of money? Probably. Oh, look at Mr. Multimedia. So Andrew is now running Twitter's and the Facebook machine, and he is busy. Very, very good. Any questions? Michelle, I bet you CERN is down for 2 years due to budget. I'm sure that maintenance is a good excuse, but money has been drying up around the European Union lately, and it's it's an interesting situation that they're having. But it could be maintenance. I shouldn't be so jaded. All right, guys. Talks amongst yourselves for a few minutes, and I'm going to fix the lighting situation here, and I will be back momentarily. So let's crank up some tunes, and let's have some fun. All right, be back shortly. put into the project, the amount of traffic that we get and the amount of traffic that we keep and the conversations that we're having. It's conversations that nobody else has. And I'm proud of it. I really, really am. So let's keep going with the conversation. Try to figure out what is going on because no one's telling us anything. So it's up to us to do all the work. We are the Breadcrumbs Project. It's not just one person. It is a whole bunch of us. And my co-producer, my co-host, my cohort in all of this is someone that I have not yet met. His name is Epic Forever. And he is the manager of basically all our social media. So he manages the chat thread here on the live. I don't take a look at it very much, and we also are on the Facebook machine. It is it Epic Charles or Charles Epic? It's Charles Epic, isn't it? And it should have been Epic Charles. But we're also on Twitter, and it's our Twitter handle is Epic Forever, Epic the number 4 and EVA, Epic Forever. Yo, Partha, you're back. Yeah, we talked about the Madonna song and the symbology that people hit in there. You know, and a lot of times people put symbology in there. They don't know they're putting symbology in there. And that's kind of how clever. We were talking about God a little while ago, and that's how clever God is. That sometimes there's just messages put in place. You don't know you're putting a message for somebody, but lo and behold, down the centuries, down the minutes, down a few days, somebody picks it up. They see something, and that's just the cleverness of God. And so many of us, when we attune ourselves to what we call pennies from heaven, like wow, one of the best and most noted pennies from heaven is deja vu, where you have a sensation that you've been there before. I've had such a deja vu. I was with a girlfriend and her children while they were visiting in Florida, and we went to have lunch. And we were at one of these counter places where you go and you put your tray on, you just slide down, and get hamburger. You know, they had kids, so of course we're gonna get hamburgers and hot dogs and stuff that's not good for you, and pizza. But boy, it just hit me, and it was a 2-minute deja vu that I knew what everybody was going to say beforehand. I knew what everybody was going to do. I knew where everybody was going. And for 2 minutes, I felt like I was watching a movie, but in real life, because I knew what everybody was going to do and say. I was like, you're going to say this. And I was saying it to myself, and I was just marveling. So, Twitter is Charles Epic on the Facebook machine, and on Twitters, we are Epic 4E. Epic, the number 4 and E. One of the things you really have to appreciate is to be patient for not only with other people, but patient with yourself in absorbing all of this that's going on. Like Partha just said, he's been studying this for 30 years. But it's not that he's just been studying it. It's part of his family history. And it's part of his genetic makeup, quite frankly. And I'm not insulting him by saying this. We've come to agree on that. That your genetics carries your family lineage. If we are not having reincarnation, which is a great point that Partha made today. If we're not having reincarnation, certainly our ancestors are in our genetic history, and that has to represent and manifest itself somehow. So not only does Partha study deeply astrology, not just And not just Indian astrology, he studies Western astrology too. So Partha has many layers of understanding that I can't even begin to wrap my head around. Thank God he was feeding it to me in a very steady and rhythmic method that that I could follow but the gist of what he is saying. Could I regurgitate what he just said to me? Could I tell you precisely what he said? No, but I picked up on the biggest thing that he said, which is that Rahu, the blue god that you see so many depictions of in so many ways of the Indian gods, and they were not myths. These were real beings that ran around the world. They were real. This is not made up stuff. They were not inventing things. You didn't invent things back then. You represented in art what you saw with your eyes, and they saw and they wrote fantastical things that one could never imagine, and they wrote about it in great details in the histories of the gods in India. And it goes back, keep saying 30, 40, 50, 80,000 years. The Indus Valley and the history of India goes back deeply pre-flood. Okay, pre-Great Flood, which we say was 12,000 years ago. I say that on my Western tradition that I've been studying, and Partha says that on his Indian tradition that he's been studying independently. And we both agree, we both have synchronicity in our firm understanding that there was a great flood, and it was 12,000 years ago. Christians and Jews know it as Noah's flood, and as well as Muslims. But India has its own tradition. Every great religion around the world speaks in detail of the Great Flood, and it all has the same timing. There is synchronicity in the religions. All right. Yeah, everybody's having weird manifestations. Their body aches, popping ears, ringing ears. There's just weird things happening to our beings that's being influenced by what's happening out there. You can't rotate the planet off axis and not have some physical manifestations. Oh, Spartan, welcome to the Club of Frustration. Epic, after the event, and if there's no event, regardless, okay, we have to get T-shirts that say our family doesn't understand us. So there's only one thing there's one thing that is the strong hammer in all of this, and that's that EMP. And it starts to come more into focus every single day. So 80-90% sure that some kind of big EMP electrical event will happen that will affect equipment and not affect humans, and sensitive equipment at that. Spartan, it's tough to be a visionary, and family like that makes it difficult for you to be wrong. It's okay if you're wrong, because you're not doing anything. You're not quitting your job, you're not burning the house down, you just have some extra supplies and EMP protection. You're doing the same thing the federal government is doing, Spartan. The president is doing this for the federal government. He has mandated it for the power companies. Why shouldn't you do it for your home? I mean, that's all part of the line, isn't it? You're just following common sense, Spartan. You're not doing anything crazy. Go back to my videos where I say, or where I talk about and give the dates and the facts, and you can look it up yourself. President Trump, EMP protection, federal government, Google search, and power companies, and you'll see he's done executive orders. So you're just doing what the president has ordered the government to do, and he can't order the people to do because the people are like your family. And he understands this is not a dangerous event, so he doesn't have to overreact. But if he told the American people what's coming, they'd do what your family does. You know, we here say, we want to know the truth. But your family, they don't want to know the truth. Your friends, they don't want to know the truth. They don't. Everyone likes the world the way it is. Everybody's happy with the way things are. Oh, Betsy, you're not feeling well. That's all you have to do is you're not feeling well. So, you know, when you have a little better energy, you're going to go get yourself tested for the COVID. Use the COVID for you. Epic, we really do compliment each other. Lena, you can ask any question you want here. You can ask any question. You may not like the answer, but I'm being facetious, but any question can be asked because every question will be answered here. Kelly's right. You can't wake him up. You can lead the horse to water all you want. Yep, blue flu, Betsy. Blue flu, exactly. And no one's going to knock you for it. Or you can just say you're getting over it. Blue flu. Yeah. My brother-in-law knows what's going on. And I took great risks to, personally to, not have him say, hitting that Spanish wine a little bit too much. No, he took what I'm saying seriously. He's keeping an eye on things, but he's done the preparations. Is he telling my sister? No. Am I telling my sister? No. Why? Why would I not tell my beloved sister, my only blood kin alive right now? Because I know it's an okay thing. It's going to scare the hell out of her. But fundamentally, she's going to be all right. Even if the comets hit each other, it just makes it a bigger electrical event. It's not going to be an explosion. And how good that we're talking about it here first. And everything here is such breaking news consistently and constantly. Tomorrow is the day that either the comets are going to pass each other in intersection. All right, Atlas is up here, Swan's down here. So they're doing a crossing motion. And so they may intersect tomorrow, they may collide tomorrow, or they may get into each other's electrical fields tomorrow. So something between the two comets is going to happen tomorrow. I am now saying that I think they're going to hit each other. I think there's going to be an interaction with them, and it's just going to make for a bigger electrical event. It's not going to be an explosion, and there's not going to be any debris or any impact on the Earth by any debris. What it will just be a big spectacular event designed to get our attention. As JWB says, the Dance of Dragons. Earliest tomorrow afternoon. Latest the 28th. Sam Knight, you're from Slidell? I'm from Louisiana. Grew up my teens in Baton Rouge. And after the Army, I came back and went to school in Hammond. Yeah, so many different religions describe this event in so many different ways. So the dance of the Kishana for the Hopi, there's just so many different JWs rattling them off. Spartans telling you so many different um, depictions of the new wonderful age start with the dance in the sky. Thank you, Army Mom. Good input. Wow, and the Dance of the Dragons is coming up. No wonder you're in on this thing, Andrew. Yeah, Betsy. Well, the comets. What comets? I don't know anything about comets. It's not in the news. What are you talking about? I was watching ABC. I did Good Morning America, Fox and Friends, Mika and Nutball. Nobody's talking about it but the YouTube machines. Yeah, this is great. That's all the big news that I think I have for today. So I'm in the comment thread right now. Yeah, China going dark, Australia going dark. Is that in the news? No, man, and everything's on lockdown. Not only us. Yeah, Nelson, thank you for those interested. So tomorrow we'll see what kind of interaction Comet Atlas and Comet Swan present for a scientific word. I haven't seen the Nigeria crater. I have to look that up. Matter of fact, I have to eat. All right, it is almost 9 o'clock Spain time. At 9 o'clock, I have to eat some dinner and get some vittles in me, as we say in the South. Oh, you're from Gretna. All right. All right. So you're from the south side of the parishes. All right. Sam, did you have to go there due to Katrina? Because yeah, I mean Gretna got laid, man. Y'all. I mean down the parish, that's no more. So Gretna got. So are you in Slidell because of Katrina? And my man Sam Knight is authentic Louisiana. His family doesn't live in Slidell. His family stay in Slidell. All right? And I think Sam could probably use y'all in the three forms: singular, plural, and in the third person. West Bank. That's right, West Bank. Best bank. What bank's the best bank? Hi, Chloe Mendoza. Welcome back. Oh, wow. Wow. Well, Sam, I'm sorry, man. I know the West Bank got hit hard. Down in the parish, they got wiped out, you know. So, and you're in Slidell. But you can make, I mean, man, all the people, up in the North Shore now. So, North Shore is pretty much like the South Shore used to be. All right, well, welcome, man. It's good to have you, and at least someone understands some of the languages I speak. Oh, wow. Betsy, you did the Ninth Ward cleanup? Thank you so much. I speak for Sam and I. Clearly, Ninth Ward got tore up. Man, that was a mess because of the levee situation. We're talking about Hurricane Katrina, guys, which impacted us in Louisiana very, very much. So, um, all right, I've been paid. This is a paid advertisement. This portion of the Breadcrumbs Project is brought to you by Epic Charles. That is the place for people interested in the Breadcrumbs Project to come together on Facebook, share ideas, have conversations, and see cat memes. And please don't forget about Twitter. The Breadcrumbs Project is also active on the Twitters, and you can find us at Epic, capital E, capital P, capital I, capital C, the number 4, capital E. And if you need some more information, you can go to capital I, capital C, capital U, capital P, ICUP. That was our first commercial. Today was a big day for me. Professionally speaking in media, I did my first interview ever in my life today, and it is trending number 1 in the Breadcrumbs Project right now, which is pretty exciting. And something that I didn't get to do today because of all the excitement was that the people that want to come for those quick updates, and a lot of people said, look, I need to know the information. I can't wait for all those hours of information. I have 2 things to feed. So tomorrow I'm definitely going to work very hard to create a standalone video to explain where we are today, and we'll have a good idea of what's going on with comets, Venus, and Swan tomorrow. Yeah, it's been a big day today, and thank you for the donations again, Andrew. You're very kind. You support this project in every way possible. Thank you, Betsy. You thought the interview was good? And it really wasn't an interview. It was a lecture. Partha gave us a lecture that he was well prepared for, and I asked for. It's not a lecture in a bad way. It's just he was ready to give the information, and so no questions need to be asked. It's on the page now. It's on the YouTube. So a visit with Partha is what it's called. Spartan, you got to take the Donald Trump attitude. And where's my man? Sam Knight. I don't know. Sam, how old are you, Sam? Are you old enough to remember Huey Long, the kingfish of Louisiana? Spartan, this is what you do. This is how you live like Louisianians do, all right? This is what we do as second nature. I don't care if you talk good about me, and I don't care if you talk bad about me, so long as you're talking about me. So people don't understand the Donald Trump thing. Donald Trump in private is charming. Donald Trump in private will make you feel like you're the most important person in the whole world and let you know that your potential is not being met. And he will identify that potential in you. And you can be in a room full of thousands of people, but when Donald Trump focuses in on you, it's an experience. Everybody that's had it happen has happened. You've seen him on TVs when he's doing interviews, and somebody asks him a question, says, "You, what are you doing? You can be doing better. Let's talk about you. Why do you want to talk about me?" But now that he's president, he's got to do a lot of talking. But what he does is he makes sure that the good guys talk about him for good things, and the bad guys talk about him for bad things or good things or whatever. But everybody is talking about Donald Trump. And so when everything quiets down, boom, Twitter machine. And that's how you win elections. But Sam, if you remember Huey Long, the great governor of Louisiana who was assassinated. His nickname was Kingfish, and that's what he said, Spartan. Get a backbone. If you haven't made anybody mad, you haven't stood up for anything. If you haven't pissed somebody off, then you haven't stood your ground. Even if you're wrong sometimes, but sometimes you just have to stand your ground. So if your family talks good about you, great. If they talk bad about you, great. At least they're talking about you. At least you're interesting, Spartan. That's how one of my senators one night, we were having cocktails and you know, just when you're having fun in Louisiana, it's great. You're just talking, and you know, and it's the old saying goes, I don't drink to get drunk. I drink to make you interesting. And so one of these things that that a friend of mine said, you know, Charles, you got to do some wrong things. You got to build some character, man. You got to quit being such a goody-good two-shoes. You got to get character. You got to go break something, man. So it's part of character. Yeah, at least you're interesting. Ah, Spartan, we have trolls come in here. People need to get upset. People need to get upset every once in a while, man. People need to to put a little sandpaper to them. Look, you know something that they don't, and when things start happening, great. If not, you're crazy. Cool. You got character. Start listening to some Hank Williams Jr. Oh, Kelly, well, if he wasn't worrying, I wouldn't be able to tell him Hank Williams Jr. stories and Kingfish stories. So, yes, Spartan, if this event happens, everybody in the world is going to be wide the F awake, you know, and, you know, just again, the showmanship of the creator is at play here. So, you know, these things don't just happen. Someone is doing staging. So if you think this is loud, you know, if that doesn't get somebody's attention, well, frankly, nothing is. So you have to be prepared. You have to be ready. You have to know what to do. So when the sounds do come and the light does come, you're like, all right, guys, this is what I was telling you to do. You know, and you've done your own boiling frog theory that governments have to do with their own people, because not every predicted emergency is going to be an emergency. But the more you prepare them, even though they start to freak out and get upset, you know, and what that is called, Spartan, is the first level is not denial. It's the 7 layers of grief. It's the 7 stages of grief that people go through. So when you give somebody a shock to their system, for every action there's an opposite and equal reaction. So if you're shocking their reality, they're going to push back with their own reality and say, "You're crazy. What are you talking about?" So that's denial in action. So you're thrusting a whole new reality on them, and they're going to reject that reality because their reality is just fine. Thank you very much. Oh, no sound on the video? Again? I don't know why it comes and goes, guys. All right. Something in, because again, this is not a multimedia device that's rendering these things. Um, yeah, sorry about that. I don't know when the sound comes and goes. It worked a little while ago, now it's not. So something in that in that applet has locked up. So the applet that feeds sound from the video to the streaming software has locked up, and I have to do a reboot to reset that. Oh, you're welcome, Spartan. You are very, very, very welcome. So have character, man. It's great to be a little bit crazy. Sam, if I'm lying, tell me. In Louisiana, if you ain't a little bit crazy, we're not interested in you, you know? You got to be a little, in Southeast Louisiana, you got to be a little off. You got to be a little off. You can't be, it's just not right. No. All right. So Partha doesn't mind me talking about this because he brought it up. There's no such thing as coincidence, okay? Partha's guru. Let me pronounce it properly in the Indian aspect. The guru is not somebody who says, "Hi, I am your guru." You assign guru or guru to a person. You say, "Holy crap, you've got something that I need. Please teach me. Please be my guide. Please be my guru." So a network engineer, I forgot how long ago it was, Partha met this network engineer who was working for one of the really big companies. And they had interaction, and so this guru taught Partha yoga, but a very Kundalini yoga, a very specific kind of yoga, a yoga that's focused on your third eye. And he taught Partha how to use his third eye, how to open it, how to exercise it, and how to know it's working. And he said it's always been there, you just didn't know it. And to the Westerner, this just sounds ridiculous and like poppycock. But within the Indian community, it is a very well respected and understood thing. And you don't fake it. This is not anything you fake. It's just not. You don't get away with anything. You know, you don't gain points. No one in India is like, "Oh, you got a third eye?" You know, whoa. You know, you exercise it. It's just like running. Oh, you can run? Go run. All right? So it's not a big thing. So when I was telling Partha about my third eye, he was just giggling away. You know, he's like, "Well, of course. And I'm like, "Why are you of coursing me? This is new. I've been having this for, low 8 years now, and no one can explain it to me. None of the yogis in the West understand it. I'm supposed to have these visions and auras and blah, blah." He's like, "No, that's not the third eye. That's not how it is a connection to your pineal gland, and basically it is connectivity." And I explained it how I understood it, and that's how I understood it is extra connectivity to my pineal gland, and it's just an extra network connection. It is basically a high bandwidth connection to the creation of the creator, and sometimes it goes off hard, and sometimes it just doesn't. And finally, I have someone who was able to explain it to me, but he had to have somebody explain it and teach him, his guru. And he said when we first started talking, "I feel like you are my guru." And I'm like, "I'm from the West. I've got nothing to offer you." And he goes, "No, what you've been sharing on the videos is very powerful and matches up with what I see in the skies and what I've been presenting." And I'm like, "Wow, that's heavy." And then he kept asking me my birth date. And we kept talking about other things, and I thought he was going to do just a regular astrological reading, which not have time for. We don't have time for, because we're moving very fast. So I thought he was just being kind, and he just finally asked me, "What is your birth date?" And July 1st, 1965. His face changed. My guru's birthday is July 11th, 1965. You were born 10 days apart. That is not a coincidence. I stood up. I mean, I was just, wow. So there's no coincidence. There's just no coincidence, Spartan. There's no way I could communicate at the level with Partha that I have done and did, and that I have a certain respect from him that I will work hard every day to make sure that I'm giving him the teaching that he needs from me to make his whole rendition of what he is pursuing complete, because we are all just pieces. I am not the guru, I am a guru in the process. And the brilliance that Partha has is he's just not looking at this from an Indian uh, astronomy, astrology, and astrotheology point of view. He is looking at this in a holistic point of view. When I look at a network, I don't look at a network just as the network interaction. I look at the servers. I look at the equipment that's going to be hanging off of the network and talking to the servers in the interaction. So I look at the whole of the network when I look at a network. I just don't look at my one portion. That's calling looking at something holistically. Well, Partha looks at everything holistically. So he has studied Egypt. He has studied Catholicism. He has studied the Bible. He has studied Judaism. He has studied all of the religions possible, and he has found the synchronicities that I've found. That's how heavy that guy is, man. And he can read the night sky. He can tell you. I mean, of course, he's going to come back tomorrow at 5 a.m. Eastern time as we start up the channel again, and he's going to dedicate what time he has. But he's got so much. What he just dumped on us today was, look, hey, listen here, look, this is what's happening now. So what he laid on us today was nothing about what he's got to lay on us more tomorrow. So tomorrow, 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock a.m. Eastern, we start a whole new live session and live stream. And again, it just goes throughout the day. I'll be presenting for a while, and then I back down, and then Andrew Epic Forever takes over in the multimedia's world. And we're just keeping the conversation alive and bringing people in every day, new people, and everybody has that same rejection or acceptance, and you can't take this in, and Partha said, look, calm down. I've been studying this for 30 years. My family has been studying this for generations. I'm genetically predisposed to study this. So that you don't understand all of that he's saying should be right on. Right? Because he's complicated, and he's saying complicated things in a complicated structure, in a complicated manner, in dialogue, but in great lecture. So he said, look, you're going to have to watch this a couple times, Charles, to get what's being said here. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And I had to walk away and process a lot of it just to absorb it. So he comes back with more. We're not scared. So come tomorrow, if something does happen or does not happen, we're not fearful, but we know events are happening. We know events are happening that are bigly because the government is not talking about it, and that is the number one spidey sense that should be giving off pretty bigly. And I use bigly because the Q is heavy in all this too. Bye, Betsy. We'll be here for a while. And all right, Epic, I gotta get to bite to eat. I'm hungry. So I've already cooked it on the last break, so I'm just gonna eat it, and I'll be back shortly, guys. interesting shows on YouTube now, and I guess we're a show because I've done an interview, and I've done a commercial spot. I've had to plug a obscure YouTube channel that makes some far-fetched predictions and yields some pretty realistic results. And having conversations that nobody else dares have. You know, you can't have it with your own family, the things that we talk about here. So that in itself makes me glad to have this channel and talking about the things that we want to talk about. And you know, I've had the same thing happen. Ray's astrophotography. I think y'all have been to his website and seen some of the great work he's done. And unfortunately for Ray, and I don't mean to talk bad about him, but he parrots all the stuff that NASA says. And I mentioned in another live stream that you know, I mentioned to Ray, look, these comets are going to be intersecting, and it's going to be very interesting, and you know, you should take a look at it. Well, he commented back, no, these comets won't be intersecting. And I was stunned. This guy loves his photography of his comets, and he didn't know these comets were intersecting. And I gave him the link to Skylink, and he said thank you very much. And then he understood that there would be intersecting. Didn't find that particularly interesting at all because he couldn't find any information on it in any of the other space websites. So he chooses not to comment about it. And I even said, well, look, you know, they're not made of ice, right? These are comets are made of dust and rock. And you know, this guy takes pictures of these things, and you know, there's an interesting reason that you're seeing green. And then he writes back, well, actually no, comets are made of ice, and in their makeup is the history of the I mean, regurgitating what NASA's been lying to us about. So, you know, the information that we are getting and what actually these two comets are going to be doing as they intersect is not quite clear to us. So we will see in the sky tomorrow what will be happening, and maybe even tonight we'll get some glimpses. I can tell you that the sunset is not normal. I'm looking at the sunset right now, and the sun is just so incredibly abnormally bright. And something else that I've really noticed too is every sunset is a cloud-filled sunset. So it can be clear skies as much as it wants, but we don't get a full-on clear sunset like we used to. There's always some kind of dense cloud cover in front of it, oddly enough. What did I miss? You are but a humble carpenter. Oh, you humble carpenter, you. All right. So tomorrow is a big day for us. Today was a big day for us, but tomorrow is a big day. Everybody's prepared, and you know, just yeah, there's nothing we can do tonight. Nothing we can do unless you're woken by a loud sound. If you're woken by a loud sound, get your cell phone and get your iPad and tuck that right into the microwave. Comets pull core out, core becomes moon. Possibly JW. No. From what the best I can gather, the cores are not that big of these comets. We don't know. We don't know what they're made of because they're glowing green. They could be made of metal. And that would be very, very interesting. If they are made of some metal substance, and yeah, then they're definitely going to attract each other, and then they're definitely going to impact each other, I think. No, the hollow Earth theory is not correct, and this is why we know this, um, because whenever you do testing for petroleum, you use seismometers, and you do explosion, and then you just hear, what returns, and that gives you depth. And if you hit liquid or you hit oil with it with with the explosion in the seismometer, anyways, the measuring device, um, almost like a Richter scale but more sensitive. They have a bunch of probes everywhere. They know what they're looking for and reflecting. Well, those explosions are also heard on the other side of the Earth, and they're measured. And the odd thing is it takes a long time for that explosion to get through the Earth this way. But north-south, zoom, it's almost instantaneous. So the feeling, and it makes sense in the makeup of how the Earth has a magnetic field, that there's actually either a metallic or a quartz type superheated crystal core that runs long. We don't have a big blob like that, like they make us think, but rather that the Earth has a long metallic center that gives us the ability to have the magnetic field. All my love to y'all from Faro, Portugal. Hermol, why were you kicked off Facebook? Welcome to a community of friends. As long as I'm not kicked off and you behave well, Epic won't kick you off. What happened? Feces book. I just saw that. Kicked off Feces book. Well, you have more time to spend here on YouTube and on the Breadcrumbs Project, getting educated on all kind of cool things. All right. So tonight is not going to be that late of a night for me. Last night and the night before were crazy late. So it's wine 30. It's wine 30 here in Spain. And Oumuamua is the first known interstellar detected passing through the solar system. Translated, yes, in Hawaiian, the Hawaiian language. Oumuamua means first distant messenger. Basically, we got mail from. Thus, all these events are occurring. Yes, if you follow my channel, Nelson, if you've got a lot of time, I explain Oumuamua, I explain Borisov. I'm very familiar with Oumuamua. I'm one of the first people to be very familiar with Oumuamua. I knew what it was right when I read about it, and everything about Oumuamua was off. It left its trajectory upon leaving, and we didn't see it enter, Nelson. Please appreciate this. We didn't see Oumuamua enter the solar system. We didn't see if it was circling the planet Earth. We saw it as it was leaving the solar system. So the telescope in Hawaii that caught it, that named it Oumuamua, caught it on its exit of the solar system. Here's what's really weird about it. The trajectory that it was supposed to be following is not the trajectory that it did follow. So it had its own navigation. It wasn't influenced by gravity, and it kept on speeding up, actually leaving at 193,000 miles per hour as it exited the solar system, and it didn't go the normal route. It shot up straight up. So it had its own means of propulsion and its own means of navigation. Oumuamua did. Same thing with Borisov. And now these two comets, which are extremely interesting, Atlas and Swan. Oh, thank you, June. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for the donations, especially Epic. and the support of the channel. Any questions? I'm about to go get myself a bottle of wine, and it is wine 30. And Epic knows that this is, I mean, he knows Spaniards. The worst place to be is in front of between a camera and a NASA PR team if there's a space event going. If there's anything in space going, the phone lines are burning down, and the PR people are running and knocking people over to get in front of the camera so they can get that sweet tax money. So they would be milking this if they could. They can't. There's a reason. They would be milking this Atlas Swan thing big time. And they'd be milking it so much that I wouldn't have the room to have the conversations that I'm having right now. You see what I'm saying? They'd have all the answers, so I wouldn't have any questions. That's how this works. Uh, 200 more subs, you're right. It's running fast. So yeah, Nelson, if NASA was on it, this channel wouldn't have any traffic. Hi, Karen. Hi, Billy. Maybe wine float? No, Billy. I'm Spaniard. So the first place not to be is actually a politician and a NASA PR team and a camera. You don't want to be in between those two. They will kill you. They'll run you over. They don't care about you, even though you're the taxpayer. The second worst place to be is between a good solid Spaniard and a fine bottle of red wine made in Spain. It's difficult to be between a Basque man and a Rioja, quite frankly. All right, so I am going to pull out a Rioja and come talk about it. And I'll be back in a second. Talks amongst yourselves. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them up now. And that's the beauty of this channel. Y'all ain't got no questions. You're far up on this than anybody else, and you're so well informed by your two hosts who answer any question that you might have that you don't have to answer questions. You answer questions for other people. And that's how you master something, is if you can teach it. Oh, you're going to be right back, so I have to wait for my wine 30. Is that what you're saying? No, you guys can keep on talking. You don't need it. That's my point. You don't need Epic or I to hold hands in the conversations or initiate things. You guys have the own rhythm of what's going on, and you're well informed. And if you do have a question, you can answer it. You're going to get an answer for it from me. And if I don't have the answer, I'm certainly going to find it because I know how to drive the internet. All right. I'll be getting a wine and playing some music for you people. Let's see. Let's go with something inspirational. All right. Be right back, guys. We are coming back with the most interesting stuff in the internets today, and that's the intersection of Atlas and Swan, and tomorrow's the big day. So I've just put a link here in the community. I hope it works. That should, if that's the link of both objects. That's the link of both Swan and Atlas. But that is also the skylive.com, where you can go and get your own renderings of the 3D paths of the comets, which will be happening tomorrow. Big day tomorrow, guys. Big day tomorrow. So, I don't expect an EMP tomorrow. I don't expect any grand thing to happen tomorrow. We may see some activity up in the sky. Let me tell you guys something. This weather has been so strange on the coast here. We keep having double clouds. We have one set of clouds up in the high in the sky, and then we always have, especially around sunset, this really deep, dark cloud bank that occurs, so that we can't see the sun at sunset. And usually we have beautiful sunsets here, watching the sun go down. Tomorrow, no EMP? I don't think so. Tomorrow is when they either impact each other or they cross each other. So right now I'm 50-50 on impact or just pass each other. Have that intersection. So I don't think tomorrow is EMP. EMP. Oh yeah, there's going to be an EMP. Those two guys are going to create an event. So if they don't do it by impact, when they pull apart, because of the speed and sharing that electric field, that'll pop. There'll be a pop at that juncture. There'll be a great release of energy. So you'll have either a great release of energy by impact, or we'll have a great release of energy when they are pulling apart. We know their electrical fields have joined, because those were the pops we heard yesterday in India, and we heard the pops in New York and Arizona, and then we had darkness come across China for no apparent reason, and I think it happened in Australia as well. So we know that by the popping sound that the two fields joined yesterday. What was day before yesterday? So I'm thinking that it's the same amount of time, 2 or 3 days after they pass each other, for those fields to tear apart. And that's what will happen, is they tear apart. They don't want to loosen each other, and so there'll be so much energy at the final point of keeping them together that when they pop, it'll be an enormous release of energy. So what am I working on today? This is a Rioja. It is a young wine. It is a cosecha. That means that it was shortly after it was pulled, it was bottled and went to market. So it's a very young grape, very young wine. But what happens with these guys is when they're so young, oh, that has such a great nose. Oh, that's wonderful. It's a Tempranillo grape. Temprano, which means it's early, and it is a cosecha, and it's a Rioja, the green label Rioja, and then you can see there that's better. There you can see everything: the green label Rioja, and the holographic label, which is expensive and hard to do, and then cosecha, and then the bottle number. So these things these bottles are difficult if you want to um, relabel cheap wine for it, because there's so much you follow these bottles from vineyard to shelf, because they're each individually numbered. Da, 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 da. Yes, so anytime, Spartan, if you're a soldier, starting tomorrow, starting the 23rd, and anytime, yeah, anytime now, you should be prepared. Yes, JW. Kimberly, I haven't followed that at all. Do you have a link to that? No, you can't link. I will do a search on that newly discovered asteroid. Yeah, my brother-in-law sent me something about that. Yeah, there's all kind of crazy things happening, man. Attaboy, Spartan. Attaboy. They had an emergency shuttle launch. When? And this is a $2 chuck for Spain. So this is actually a store label, and so this is the most inexpensive Rioja you can possibly buy. It's roughly $3, and it's delicious. It's my favorite wine, thankfully. Nothing in the media, of course. Of course not. No, you can't give me a link. They won't let you link. So I'll do a search shortly after I get off the show here. I will do a search and find out everything I can do. So this is wine 30 or 1 o'clock, depending on where you are. Yeah, it's coming up on 1 o'clock. Cheers to you, all you crumbers out there, all of you following the breadcrumbs and seeking truth seekers. That's what you are. Cheers to you, and thank you for supporting this effort that I've been underway on, and now I've got my partner in crime and partner in memes, Andrew, Epic Forever. Cheers to you, my friend. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's so good. Good, good, good. No, I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all. And I don't know if it was when we were in private or when we were during the interview with Partha. Why would you want to destroy something that you've spent so much time and effort in creating, and is beautiful and has remained beautiful? So neither of us, from either perspective, are fearful. Matter of fact, we're rather excited if something does happen, because we think it's the golden age. We'll do so, JW. I will do that after I get off of the show. What hit the dark side of the moon? And I know you're not Hey, Gail. Hey, Gail Love, how are you? I know you're not referencing Pink Floyd. I have no news on that either. Sorry. Unfortunately, when I'm online, I can't do research. Cheers, truther. Cheers, Central Boutique. Cheers to all of y'all. All right, I will. Thanks, Kimberly. Cheers to you. Oh, come on. You cannot get more ethnic British than to be in a bloody fish and chips. Is it good? Yeah, of course it's good. You wouldn't be there if it wasn't good, right? Oh, that's so. I mean, all right, yeah. Uh, Epic is saying if anybody wants research while I'm here, message the Facebook. So you can message Facebook, and I should be able to get an alert. Holy 32 pounds? Man, that must be a fish. Because I know you're not paying for the potatoes. Those are potatoes. Those are chips. I'm not going to call them French fries. Those are chips. Oh, yeah. Well, what do you want to ask? What's the question, Gail? What do you want to... What hit the dark side of the moon? We don't know. The moon impact story is coming up in 27 minutes on another channel. Paul... What is it? Paul Begley. Oh, that's the oxymoron of the day. That is the absolute oxymoron of the day. It's a fish and chips joint run by Greeks. That is beautiful. It's not a Greek restaurant. It's a fish and chips joint run by Greeks. That is funny. Well, bon appetit, my friend. Enjoy your fine dinner, and hope your family is with you and enjoying it. Ah, so you use a little bit of charm and savoir faire and rassled yourself a large bottle of drink. Go ahead, player. I'm not hating on you. It's the game. Gotcha. Gotcha. You're waiting. So you're taking it home to eat. Okay, Chris. Gotcha. I don't know what. Man, Turks and Greeks make some good food on their own. When they're in the United States, Turks have a Turkish place, and the Greeks have a Greek place. The not much fish and chips in America. You can go to Red Lobster and get some close. Good people, good business. All right, that's smart. Very, very good. Keep the customer happy. Excellent customer service. That should be everyone's goal. If someone's your customer, you should always strive to give them excellent customer service. And you, sir, have received excellent customer service, Epic. Natalie, yes, you should have already have your money. Anybody that if the MP happens, it's going to happen between now and the 28th. So if you're buying into this notion that we are having, you should already have a comfortable amount of cash that you don't mind having at home and ready, because cash will still be king. There will still be trade going on. You won't be having frozen foods and stuff like that, but dry goods will still happen. Water will still be bought, so there will still be trade happening after the EMP. You just won't be able to get money out of your ATM. So that's just a precautionary tale. You know, just have enough cash that you feel comfortable having on hand at home. Yeah, Epic agrees with me. The sooner the better. Everyone should have at least now their plan for their Faraday cage. If they don't have it already built, they should have a plan for it, and then they should also have a a comfortable amount of cash, and at least 2 weeks worth of supplies now. Kimberly, tell those you feel that will understand the message. Don't put yourself in a place of ridicule, because this is not your responsibility. You love your family, you love those close to you, you love everybody, but we are our own souls. And if this is what we think it is, this is Judgment Day. You're not going to convince anybody of it, you know? The Indians are like, they got a wake-up call. Partha has no problem saying, that was the messenger. Something is coming. Those bangs that they had in India, he has no problem calling it the messenger. None. So, these events have started already, is I guess my point. The events have already started. The loud pops all over the world, but we definitely have them recorded in India, and we have a fellow of the crumb who's verified it, and we have darkness suddenly happening on great parts of the earth, like there's a planet blocking the sun. Everybody around will tell you the sun is just not right. There's something wrong with the sun. That's why I say, you know, do what you do in the comfort of your own peace. Because if nothing happens, they're going to rag you. And if something does happen, they're not going to prepare. They're just, it's a stage of denial. So you're telling them your reality, and they are experiencing their own, so they're going to push back that your reality is crazy because my reality says everything's just fine. What, you don't notice the sun? Yeah, the sun's right there. You don't notice the, these weird sunsets and these cloud covers and stuff? No, they're all kind of normal. You want to measure your shadow because it's 40 meters long at noon? No, I don't want to do any of that. Leave me alone with that shit. Don't put yourself through it. It's your soul. You can only care for your soul and those people that you think that can listen to the message you have to share. Gail, I don't think that video has been made yet. I think the dark side of the moon is being presented by another channel, and it's going to be presented in a half hour. So I don't think there's any info on anything hitting the dark side of the moon yet and available. The mainstream media is not covering any of this, Gail. So you can't find anything about Comet Atlas. You can't find, except if you go to places like this. Yeah. You have to feel something's wrong and then be ready to listen. Yeah, they keep cloudy everywhere. It's amazing. These clouds are amazing. These clouds nowadays have lives of their own. I mean, we have two whole different sets of clouds going on, people. You have a whole new set of clouds that are close to the ground, and then you have the normal ones that are up in the stratosphere. I mean, I have a fog rolling in right now. It's incredible. Paris is going to have a 16-degree plunge in temperature. All right, guys, somebody's trying to reach me by phone. I'll be right back. Do. Sí, no, no pasa nada. Dígame, ¿qué pasa? Ah, vale, vale, vale. Ah, muy bien, muy bien, muy bien. ¿Y a qué hora te vas? Hombre, eso es la tarde para mí. Muy bien, pues. Fíjate, ¿y cómo te sientes? Estabas un poco jodido, pues. Pero de repente con la cabeza también. Ay, tío. Vino. Sí. No, no, pongo con un poco de Coca-Cola. Bueno, con mucha Coca-Cola y ¿cómo se llama eso? Es un Coca-Cola y vino y es ¿cómo se llama eso? ¿Cómo se llama? Ah, sí. Paracetamol, sí. Entonces, muy bien, hombre. Hombre, pues cuidado con todas esas cosas. Ya sabes, ya sabes. No te tengo que contar. Hombre, nada con las chicas, nadie. Yo estoy aquí en el internet metido con mi canal. Eh, Ay, fíjate, qué bien. Qué bien, tengo que pasar con ellas y tomar uno. Hombre, sí. Sí, eso es la verdad. Eso los echo de menos. Y de verdad. Ay, qué bien. Ana y Belén, sí. Los dos. Qué bien. Sí, ahí corriendo todo. Bueno, estamos a gusto. Están en línea empezando mañana. Sí, empezando mañana. Y las cometas, a ver lo que van a hacer mañana porque van a estar en conjunto. Si pegan o se van a pasar. Y todo lo más está muy confundido. Sí, sí. Que algo va a pasar. A ver. Sí, es que hay muchos tantos señales, tantas locuras que están pasando que algo tiene que pasar. Pues a ver. No es nada normal, Paco. No, hay un sentido. Pero yo estoy trabajando, yo estoy mirando, tengo mi canal que está haciendo pruebas, estoy hablando con gente en India y por todo el mundo. Sí. No todos, pero... Ah, oye, ay, voy a perder el camino. Llámame a mí porque voy a perder. Ya, vale. Suerte, venga, mañana, chao. You probably heard my conversation in Spanish. How interesting. Well, this is what happens on live TV and live chat sessions. Welcome back. This is my last bit of the segment, so um, I don't have much more to share except that tomorrow is a big day. Tomorrow is the intersection or the collision of the comets. Nobody. Oh, good job, JW. Way to sneak that shortcut in there. Good, 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 good. Very smart. Not just a pretty face. All right, so yeah, right now I'm just going to react to chats because we're all up on it. Tomorrow, 5 a.m. Eastern time, we start the stream up again, and not long after that, we will have Partha back on, and then and then any analysis of anything that's happening. Of course, a sudden cloud cover has just appeared here, so I can't see Comet, Atlas, or Venus tonight. So if anybody sees the comets tonight and Venus, please take pictures. That would be much appreciated. Uh, 40 folks here, and we've had just great amount of traffic. Excuse me, all day, and everybody feels comfortable. Heck, we even talked Trojan out of the tree. Yeah, and now you know what a Faraday cage is and how good it is. If you want to punish your kids, tell them the phone's going in the Faraday cage. Yeah, the sky's just always janky right now. Two different cloud covers, and the sun just doesn't look right at all. We know it's not in the right place. Sorry guys, it was my friend Paco, and since we're still kind of in quarantine, he's going to a small town and going shopping, and so picking up some supplies for me. Spartan. No, it's because the sun is not right. Something's just very wrong with the sun. It's too far north and it shines too brightly. So yeah, our good colleague Epic Forever is probably downing some fish and chips right now, and enjoying time with his family. So none of you people have any questions for me? I've done such a good job of teaching you all I know in an adequate manner that you can explain it to other people that you don't have any questions for me? Must be a good teacher. Thank you for all the donations, for all of you that did donate in the super chats. Thank you so much for supporting the work. It's just it is just such a very nice acknowledgement that you make, and I'm humbled and grateful by each and every one of them. So thank you for those that have happened throughout the day today. There will always be questions. Oh, thank you, JB. That's also the other thing. We have brought quite a family together. Bing Nisa, Besingna Nisa. Thank you so much. The only guy doing this. Happy to do so. And I'm not scared to talk about faith. We've brought the faith aspect comfortably into what's happening. So, there's nothing that we can't talk about here that is sacrosanct. Everything is talked through clearly. No. Deborah. Deborah Boudreaux? I'm going Deborah Boudreaux. No, the sun is not where it's supposed to be at all. At all. It's far north and east of where it's supposed to be. It's actually past its solstice marker. One of the ironies of all, not one of the ironies, but every place that we have an actual registered solstice marker that can tell us where the sun is in reference to the solstice and the equinox, but we're worried about the solstice right now because it's coming up next month. All those places are shut down and guarded. For example, Stonehenge. We have a man on Salisbury Hill who is good friends with a Celtic shaman, a Celtic wizard, and they can't get to even this guy is a Celtic druid acknowledged. They won't let him onto Stonehenge anywhere near it. It's that heavily guarded. So any place that has a noted solstice marker is guarded, and we can't see we can't get picture proof of the sun being far past its marker. I have one here. I just never took a picture of it. And right now the sun is setting so far past the solstice marker that it spins the eyes. Who's guarding it? Local police. Ah, are you finished eating, Andrew? Yeah, but they don't know why they're doing it, JW. I mean, it's not like, oh, it's because of the aliens. They don't know why they're guarding it. They just know that they can't let anybody on there because of COVID. All right, multitasking. Well, thank you so much for doing that. I know if it was done by Greeks, it's good. So I know it's good. I know it's good fish, and they know how to handle a potato too. So I know it's good chips. Sweet, man. Excellent. Excellent. It's better than being spitting mad at spending $32 for dry, chewy, nasty nonsense. And cheers to you. Bon appetit, my good friend. Thank you for all you've done and keep on doing. This, this is a wine chalice. This is a one could even say a grail in many cases. This is a cat bowl. So if anybody's asking what the cat bowl that Epic keeps talking about is this. This is the cat bowl. This is my wine chalice. This is my grail. And Epic knows that. No, he wouldn't say this is a cat bowl. Does this look like a cat bowl to you? No, this isn't the cat bowl. Ah, the cat bowl's great. Right here. I have to do something about the price tag, but I'll take care of that. Don't you worry about that. Takes me a while, but sometimes I can catch on to do something. The cat bowl conspiracy. The cat bowl letters. No, Halley's Comet, that's far off. No, Halley's Comet is far, far off. And I don't have a chance to look it up. Miss O'Grady, thank you for those very truthful, very kind, and very correct words. I am absolutely enjoying it. Every night we have a nice bottle Rioja. I just drink Rioja wines. It doesn't matter which bodega. And I'm here in Spain, Miss O'Grady. So I take advantage fully of the great Spanish wines and the great Spanish wine prices. No, no, no. For 2,000 subscribers, I will swig from the bottle. But I loathe the thought of putting a fine Rioja wine up against plastic. Just the thought of, I'll lap water out of it, but no, sir. Wine will not be touching this. You're mean for even thinking that. Sharing is caring. All right. No, not the end of the world. End of times. The end of time. The end of this time. And the beginning of the new time. All right, guys. I am winding it up here. So as I close this stream out, there will be some music, but the music won't stay up. You'll get that frozen effect with a little spinny wheel because I'll take down the software that feeds the stream, which has done great today. So I'm happy with the second portion of our show. No questions. Great excitement for tomorrow. Keep your eyes on the skies. And yeah, nobody's been able to see the comet or the comets it's so weird, the skies. All right, guys. Have a great night. I will see you tomorrow for those of you that tune in at 5 a.m. Eastern. And, you know, the oldest religion that we have is Zoroastrianism. And you just had to practice 3 fundamental principles. And that is think good thoughts, do good deeds, say good things. And you'll have a really good life. And I think that's true. So I will be sure to turn my mic down so you don't hear any of my conversations I'll be having. And cheers to all of you. Thank you so much. This is the Breadcrumb. Peace.